morning. What we have here is a U.S. Industrial 10-foot by 1/4 inch hydraulic shear. It's equipped with a power-operated back gauge. It's controlled from this station here. It also has the ability to fine-tune. So you would select whatever dimension you want to shear to on the LED, and then you can fine-tune it here to bring it into exactly where you want to be in thousandths of an inch. Now this machine is capable of shearing from very thin, around 22 gauge, on up to 1/4 inch capacity mild steel. To change from thin to thick material, this would be done with this quick blade gap adjustment. There's a locking handle here. Currently, the machine is set at the thinnest setting. So if we want to go thicker, we turn this dial to the maximum setting of 1/4 of an inch. Once that is set, you lock the handle and you can start the machine and cut. Now, what we have here today is 2 pieces of material. Unfortunately, I don't have any full-length material here because we're not a sheet metal shop, we're a machinery dealer. I have a gauge chart, and it's actually a gauge that we can actually measure the material to make sure that we're adjusting the machine properly, and it's done in sheet metal gauge as well as in decimals. Each one of these sizes will identify what the material we're cutting is. So this is galvanized material. I suspect it to be 16 gauge, so I will select 16 gauge and hold it up there and see. Well, 16 doesn't quite make it, so we're going to try 15. Okay, so this is 15 gauge material. It's actually 16, but because it has a coating of galvanization on there, it makes it just a little bit thicker. So what we'll do is we will go over to the quick blade gap adjustment and adjust it for 1/16 of an inch. There's 1/8, 1/16 of an inch. We lock that in place. We can start up the machine, but before I do, I wanted to point out that the cable inserts also have ball transfers. So when you have full-size sheets and they're very heavy, they'll slide around, so it makes it a lot easier for your operator to manipulate the material. We also have 4 support arms and the squaring arm. This will gauge from the blade up to 40 inches. Now the back gauge, let's say we want to make an adjustment. We can adjust that in or out. Right now, we're going to move it into, say, about 3 inches. Let me put it right on 3 inches. There's 3 inches, okay. And then we can go ahead and start the hydraulic motor. Now when you're cutting on a shear, there's a rake angle that starts from one side and goes to the other. You always want to work from left to right on this machine. And as you can see, the hold down feet are very close together on this side. The reason that they're very close together on this side is so when you are cutting thin material or narrow material, that you get full support on a small piece. As you work across the shear, you'll see that those are spaced out further and further. So we have a squaring. These blocks here will keep your material square. You push it back to the back gauge, so you're flat up against the back gauge and the squaring block, and then you can go ahead and shear. This was 16 gauge, mild steel, cuts it like butter. There's absolutely no burr whatsoever on the material. It's a beautiful cut. Here we have just a little small piece, but this happens to be stainless steel, and we can go ahead and cut that as well. Maybe a little short to go in there, I don't know. We got just enough, we can make it work. You never want to cut any material that is shorter than the finger guard, because you don't want to have to lift up the finger guard and expose your fingers to being pinched with a hold down or the shear blade. So this should always be in the down position when you're cutting. And there's your sheared edge. Absolutely no burr, it's a beautiful cut. Now, after the material's been cut, it has to go somewhere. So it's going to go around to the rear side of the machine. And with your full length sheets that you're cutting, it's going to be supported all the way across. It'll drop down and typically come down and hit these, so they'll be there for you to pick up. Little tiny pieces, of course, are going to fall through the cracks, but typically your material is going to be landed right there. The machine literally runs like a brand new machine. Run the back gauge in and out. Go ahead and cycle it like 5 or 6 times.